The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council chambers had never known such silence. Where once thousands of species debated, argued, and legislated across the stars, now only empty seats remained in the human delegation section. Kimberly Chen stood before her apartment window on New Terra, watching the last human transport ships prepare for departure. Her reflection in the glass showed tired eyes that had seen too many council sessions end in nothing but contempt for her people. "They're calling it the Great Retreat," Stephen Park said from behind her, his voice heavy with irony. He was her partner in the diplomatic corps, and together they had spent 15 years trying to make humanity's voice heard among the stars. "Let them call it what they want," Kimberly replied, turning away from the window. "We gave them everything. Our technology, our medical advances, our agricultural techniques, and what did we get in return?" Stephen's jaw tightened. He remembered every slight, every dismissive gesture. The Xinthians had called humans primitive mammals. The Kree Collective had voted to deny Earth's colony expansion rights, despite humanity saving their homeworld from a plague just 3 cycles ago. The mighty Vortian Empire had demanded human ships stay out of 70% of mapped space, territories that humanity had actually discovered and charted. "The quarantine incident was the final straw," he said quietly. Kimberly nodded, her hands clenching into fists. When the Darkstar Plague had broken out on Xinthian Prime, it was human doctors who rushed in. It was Kimberly herself who had coordinated the medical response, working 30-hour shifts to synthesize a cure. They had saved billions of Xinthian lives, and then the Xinthians had accused humanity of creating the plague as a bioweapon, despite evidence to the contrary. Despite the 53 human medical personnel who had died fighting the outbreak. Despite everything, the Council had voted to investigate the accusations. Not one species stood up for humanity. Not one. That was 3 months ago. 2 weeks later, the human ambassador had made the announcement. Humanity was withdrawing from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. All human personnel, all human technology, all human presence would be removed from Council space within 90 days. "Do you think they understand what they've lost?" Stephen asked, moving to stand beside Kimberly. She smiled grimly. "They're about to find out." 6 months after humanity's withdrawal, the first cracks began to show. The terrene agricultural worlds were facing crop failures. For decades, they had relied on human-designed atmospheric processors and soil enhancement techniques. When the machines broke down, they sent urgent requests for human technicians. The requests went unanswered. The Vortian Empire discovered that 40% of their fleet's navigation systems were built on human quantum mapping algorithms. When a critical update was needed to account for new gravitational anomalies in the Theta sector, they found themselves unable to modify the code. Human engineers had taken all the source code with them. 3 Vortian dreadnoughts were lost to navigational errors. Within the month, the Galactic Medical Association realized that 68% of their treatments for cross-species diseases had been developed by human researchers. When a new pathogen emerged on the trade hub of Nexus Station, they had no protocol for containment. No human doctors answered their calls. Nexus Station was quarantined, and 10 million beings died. "Ambassador Chen, I'm receiving another transmission from the Council," Stephen said, his voice echoing in the small command center of Sanctuary Station, humanity's new independent outpost beyond Council space. Kimberly, now holding the title of Human Ambassador in exile, didn't look up from her datapad. "How many is that this week?" 14. "Let them wait," she said coldly. "We waited for justice. We waited for respect. We waited for acknowledgement. Now it's their turn to wait." Stephen pulled up the transmission data. "This one is marked Priority Alpha. It's from the Council Chairman himself." That made Kimberly pause. She set down her datapad and crossed her arms. "Play it." The holographic image of Counselor Vraththun materialized before them, a towering being of crystalline features that shifted colors with emotion. Right now, those colors were subdued, almost pleading. "Ambassador Chen," the recording began, "the Council requests humanity's return. We acknowledge that mistakes were made." "Mistakes," Kimberly spat, cutting off the recording. "They call condemning an entire species a mistake." Stephen let the recording continue. "And we are prepared to offer reparations. The Xinthians have publicly retracted their accusations. We have reserved permanent seats for human delegates with full veto powers. We need your help." The dark star plague has mutated. Our worlds are dying, please. The hologram flickered and died. Kimberly was silent for a long time. Stephen knew that look. She was thinking, calculating, weighing options with that brilliant mind that had made her the youngest ambassador in human history. They think we'll just come running back, she finally said. They think one apology erases 15 years of humiliation. What do you want to do? Stephen asked carefully. Kimberly stood and walked to the observation deck. Through the reinforced glass, she could see dozens of human colony ships moving through space, a growing fleet of human independence. Beyond them, new human settlements dotted previously restricted space. Humanity had not just survived withdrawal, they had thrived. Send them a response, Kimberly said, her voice clear and firm. Tell them that humanity appreciates their apology. Tell them we will consider helping with the plague, at a consultant's rate, full payment in advance. And tell them that Earth and her colonies are now sovereign territory. We will engage with the Council as equals, or not at all. Stephen smiled as he began composing the message. They're not going to like that. No, Kimberly agreed, watching the stars. But they need us more than we need them. They'll learn what humanity tried to teach them all along. Respect isn't given freely. It's earned, and you can't abuse those who help you without consequences. As the message transmitted across the galaxy, Kimberly felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Humanity had withdrawn quietly without rage or violence. They had simply removed themselves from a system that didn't value them. And in doing so, they had proven that sometimes the greatest power isn't in staying and fighting. Sometimes, it's in walking away and letting others survive the consequences of their own choices. The galaxy would remember this lesson, and humanity would never forget it. The end.